shake it, baby. Hey, feel like Frozone, wear my super suit, my wrist cold. I can't hold that bitch like sipping super powder.
Hey everybody, it's Tony back again with another NSB video, Nike shoe bot. This NSB video is going to be on Shopify setup, so how to cop off sites like Kith, Concepts, Undefeated, and more. By my success in the intro, you should be able to see I have a few successes with all these websites and I know how to run them very well. Now today I'm going to try and show you knowledge on what I know to show you how to cop on these websites. So first off, I'm going to show you how to set up tasks for NSB Shopify and how they work exactly, and each and every setting. Now we're just going to show Kith as an example. For the modes for Shopify, there are 4 modes: safe mode, fast mode, cyborg, and checkout link. Safe mode you want to use on non-bot protection drops and restocks for NSB. Now, non-bot protection is a site, for example, the Lakers site that dropped the Kobe jerseys. Now, they dropped and safe mode cooked this release because it had no bot protection on the site at all. Now, safe mode is good to run for those, and for restocks, let's say Kith is having a bunch of restocks and they haven't put up their checkpoint or bot protection. Safe mode would get to the checkout the fastest to try and get the restock. Fast mode is a mode that you want to use instead of safe mode that makes it faster. So let's say for the Lakers drop, fast mode did cook more. It's up to you what you do, but that's what I do, and I like having both of these settings available to me because both of them work at some times. A fast mode task right with it, 1-to-1. Cyborg mode is modes only for bot protection. This will go through every step of the Shopify queue and go through to checkout. These are for sites Kith, Concepts, Undefeated. Most sites that Shopify have that run big drops now are on Cyborg. So most of your Shopify releases, you'll be running Cyborg. Checkout link isn't used that much at all. Checkout link is more like if the site's dead and you're running a checkout link, if you get the checkout link to your Discord webhook, which you will get it to your Discord webhook if you run checkout link, you can click on the checkout link and try to run manual. That's what it would be good for. So let's say for the Bodega Better Days drop, this might have been good. I didn't run it. This might have been good for the release because the site was so dead. It was better to run manual than on bot. But for other than that, I wouldn't run checkout link ever. Only if you are advised to. Link is what you think it is. It's the product link to the page that you want to check out. Link you will use for initial drop only for Kith, as you get early links for Kith, which I will show you later on. Other than that, you won't be running links that much. For restocks you will, and if you get a link advised by your cook group or a link that you found, you can run that as well if you want that product, but it has to be the product page. Variant is something on Shopify that pops up when a store adds a product to their page. So let's say Kith adds a new shoe to their page and adds a bunch of sizes. Each size will have a variant, okay? So it will have a list of variants, and you can use these variants for, let's say, SHOPNICEKICKS loads variants before, which I'll show you. Same as SHOEPALACE, and they're very good on restocks. Variants are better than links and keywords and can pick up products faster, but use them at your own risk, as when bot protection is live, it is harder to run variants sometimes. But for restocks, variants are the way to go. Keywords are the way to go for an initial drop where there's no early link. It's usually what you're running. Use the NSB Discord keywords. I have the most success from the NSB Discord keywords, and I run them every time. If it doesn't pick, use them. So I'll show you then how to use it. Size, there you can do multiple sizes, so it could be 4.5, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, etc. That's multiple sizing. You can do random size, so that's random. You can do first available, that's first available, FA. Last available, which is LA. And then you can do your own size as well if you only want your own size for yourself, or you have some you're running for, or that's the size you want. It's up to you though. Number tasks is also up to you. It's just whatever tasks you want in those settings, how many tasks you want of them, it'll make that many tasks. Billing profile, pretty self-explanatory. It's your profile. I'll just run test for now, and then proxies is proc. So on the next section, I'm going to show you about monitors and how to use monitors. So let's get on to that section. So as you can see, I have 2 monitors up on my screen. I was very lucky mid recording, there was a drop happening, so it's going to be very easy to show you how to utilize them. So for monitors, you have a monitors tab in NSB, and you also have a monitor up on your task. Now the monitor up on your task is by NSB, and NSB uses an in-house monitor where they monitor a bunch of sites. So you can use the in-house monitor for a bunch of drops. The problem with the in-house monitor is it's not filtered, and it's not filtered to the drops you want to run for. So let's say at 7 a bunch of sites are dropping, it's going to fill up the monitor and you're not going to be able to see your drop that easy. Discord monitors, you can use your cook group, and you can use a filtered monitor where it will filter to your drop. So for Discord, you can connect on this side. You can just click it and it'll connect you. I'm already connected, so I'm not going to show you that right now. I have a few of my cook group servers up. Shout out Apex Chiefs, but we're going to show you that right now. So Obey, I have a bunch of sites up. Let's say it's around 7 and you have keywords up. So this is for keywords or a wrong early link, because Kith sometimes changes their early link, or let's say anything wrong with your task. You can change your task easily with NSB, which I love. It's the best integration that they have in their bot, and I utilize this so much, and it works so much for me. So let's start all these tasks right now. They're all on test billing, so don't worry. I'm gonna start them all on this top link, but what I'm gonna do is switch the links. Now I'm gonna turn my monitor delays up because I don't want them too low. Now I'm just going to turn them up for the showing of the video. I'm going to start all these. It's going to pick an offer. It's going to wait for CAPTCHA. I'm going to get a bunch of CAPTCHAs showing up probably on my other screen. And yes, I did. There is a checkpoint up. So I'm just going to solve a couple of them right here on the other screen. But I'm just solving CAPTCHAs right now. And it's just saying waiting for stock because I bet they dropped all their stock after it sold out. So let's say it's 7 and I have all these links running and it says waiting for stock like Kith. So Kith, you're going to be waiting, and it's going to be all saying waiting for stock, and it's 254, and it's about to hit 255. So we're going to click all these and with the control, and we're going to scroll up with our mouse, and it's going to highlight them all black. Now this will edit all them all selected, or if you only have Kith running, which I only have Obey running, I'll just do edit all for now, because it doesn't matter. But if you're running other sites, you're going to want to select. Now, once the site drops, you're going to want to see the monitor. So I'm going to be checking the monitor, waiting for something to pop up. You could also do mass change URLs. This is very effective too. So I'm going to just do mass change URLs because it's the only one I'm running. So right away, this one drops. You're like, oh, I don't have the right link. You click it right away. It's going to switch the link, all of them right away, and switch the product. This is very good. See, it's going to add all of it, awaiting shipping. I think it's actually going to check out, but it's all going to say declined. Yeah. Oh, antibot on. So all of these didn't check out because I mass changed all of them, and I didn't have and Cyborg on because antibot was on. Also, a good feature in NSB is when you're running safe mode, it's gonna say antibot on, use cyber. So for these two monitors, you can clearly see the difference. This one's just gonna fill up way too much. It's gonna show all the sites you want, but it's just gonna fill up way too much. With the Discord monitor, you can filter it, and this works very well for Shopify drops. And when you're just looking at a monitor midday and a site drops and nobody knows about it, you can just click on a task and get it all set up here with your billing profile, size, proxy, what method you want to use, and everything. It works very well, and you can even have login. So that's the good thing about monitors, and that's for section 3. Now let's get on to section 4, where it's the actual Shopify tutorial. So as you can see, we have Kith loaded up here with NSB. So we're going to show you Kith initial drops on NSB Shopify right now. Now for the mode, it should always be Cyborg for Kith. They usually never drop with safe or fast mode drops, so no antibot on. I mean, for some non-hype drops they will, but just make sure that you're running Cyborg for most of the time. I mean, I've never seen them drop safe or fast, so we're gonna click Cyborg. For keywords for Kith, they do not work on NSB. Now, you need to find an early link for yourself, which NSB provides, your cook group can provide, and you can find on the monitor for the the monitor on NSB when the site drops. I would suggest looking on NSB's Discord or your cook group's Discord before the drop, though, to find the link. Now, for our link, we're just gonna pick a random product, as we don't really care. I'm just gonna use a fake profile. I want to make sure it's not sold out though. So we are going to pick, we're gonna pick this link, this Kith Leroy reversible quilted jacket. The size we'll just do random right now. It'll just show the link which you want, so it'll just show the link. We'll do random number of tasks. We'll just do 1 for now. We're gonna do no proxy. Now for proxies on Kith, there's a lot of different proxy providers, as you can see. There's Space, Unknown, Cookie, Leaf. There's a whole Fatal. There's a whole different, like, there's a lot of proxy providers, which I just blasted a bunch of images on the screen. For the proxies I use on Kith, I usually use no proxy on Kith. Proxies get throttled a lot on Kith. You want to be using the best ISP proxies or DC proxies you have, which are the proxies that have no data attached to them. Now, for Kith, if you only are running 1 or 2 tasks, I would just say run no proxy with both of them. I wouldn't run Resi. Resis are too slow on Shopify nowadays because so many people run Shopify. It's so hard to get releases when you're running Resi. Now we're going to do no proxy for our example, and we're just going to put it on test. We're going to put a couple tasks up, so 2 or 3. I mean, I'll just do 2 for now. Now, we have the links up. And I can't show you the delays that well because we're not in real release. If there is a release, I'll ping it right now and I'll put it on the screen and show you my success. Now that you've seen it or haven't, I don't know if you've seen it because I don't know if there's been a Kith drop in the week that I posted this, but we have 2 tasks here and we're going to put the timeouts at 10,000 before the release. We're going to do 10,000 3 minutes before the release, before we're starting them, and then we're gonna start them. Let's say I click the start button. It's gonna say waiting for stock. Now I'm gonna say 15 seconds before the release. Now Kith loves to throttle proxies right before checkout if you're running too low of a delay. Kith, I would advise running a pretty high delay. I would say 3500 is good. For me, I run 333 on Kith. It can vary though, because Kith on hype releases, they will throttle harder. So for hype releases like Off-White, Jordan 4s, I would run 4.5. But on just a regular Yeezy Kith release, I would run 3333. I'm going to enter it, and then we're going to start our task like the site just dropped. Now it's going to say adding to cart. It's doing everything right, filling, waiting. So you know what it's doing. It's selecting method, calculating taxes, submitting payment, and then payment decline because it's not going to work. That's for Kith. Now we're on to the next section. So for this section, I'm going to show you SHOEPALACE and SHOPNICEKICKS and how to run on NSB with them. Now we're going to create some tasks real quick. We're going to do SHOPNICEKICKS first to start it out. Now we are showing all initial release. Remember, this is initial release. I'm going to show restocks at the end of the video. Now SHOPNICEKICKS has variants for their Yeezy Quantums already. Now it says coming soon and it says 5 days 15 hours. Now these haven't released yet and they are releasing this weekend. I have their variants because they load their variants a week before. You can find their variants on tools like AYCD, Essentials, and more, but I cannot show you due to it being a private tool. I'm going to copy some of the variants and I am going to run Cyborg. Now for SHOPNICEKICKS and SHOEPALACE, they do run hard bot protection and hard proxy throttling. For SHOEPALACE and SHOPNICEKICKS, I would advise you to run your best ISP proxies and no proxy. I know it sounds like I'm going to say this for every website, but some websites don't proxy throttle as hard. It's just these sites do. Now for SHOPNICEKICKS, we have a variant and we also have a link. If you both have the variant and the link, you would want to use both the variant and the link. I would use both options to try them both out. Now, you never know which one's going to work, and drops vary drop to drop. I would run both variant and link. So I'm going to put a variant in, no proxy, and then I'm going to put a link in with my ISP proxies, because my ISP proxies might work on SHOPNICEKICKS. I mean, they could throttle harder, but they won't ban it due to it being right now. Once I started, it's gonna say waiting for stock, or it's gonna say waiting for restock, because this product's already loaded and it's loaded out of stock. So this is what it's gonna say on your SHOPNICEKICKS and SHOEPALACE releases. It's gonna say waiting for restock. Now, it is very hard to run SHOPNICEKICKS and SHOEPALACE. I'm going to do this with SHOEPALACE as well in a second, but with SHOPNICEKICKS, you want to let it wait for restock, and you want to run it at 10,000 before. You want to get it in and out of that Shopify queue, so it's out of it. Now, checkpoint, it's gonna load up, and it usually loads up right before the drop, like seconds before the drop. So what you want to do is try to verify that checkpoint as fast as possible when it comes up. I mean, you could try to run SHOPNICEKICKS right when it drops on your monitor, or you can try and wait for restock. Both work, but SHOPNICEKICKS and SHOEPALACE go out of stock very quick, as they have variants, and other bots can utilize this as well. What I would do is run your timeouts very low when the drop happens, or when you think the drop's going to happen. What I'm saying is, when you think the drop is going to happen, with SHOPNICEKICKS, sometimes they drop late. Now at 7, you want to drop your delays. I would drop them as low to 3,000 both, and then so 3,000 like this. So I would enter it and run it at 10 for 3,000. Then I would knock it back up if they are banning proxies. If it's been a while, if it's been 3 minutes, they usually drop 10 minutes after drop sometimes too. They can also drop like what they did with the Kobe's. They dropped at 12 a.m. So they are very random. You just got to be ready for when they drop, because they go out of stock very quickly. Now, SHOPNICEKICKS is hard to have success on, and if you do, props to you. I have had success on it before, but it is very hard to have success on. Now for SHOEPALACE, I'm going to show you the exact same thing, just a little bit different. SHOEPALACE, I have been running both variants and links, and SHOEPALACE hasn't been a website for Shopify for that long. If you remember, it was not a Shopify site, and some other bots would cook them. But other than that, they have been loading checkpoint and capshop every drop and been proxy throttling very hard. I've been seeing a lot of success on other bots and not a lot on NSB, but I bet they will change that. Now, with SHOEPALACE, you want to put your size in, everything. You want to put a link and a variant if you have it. If you don't have the variant, just run links. I mean, the link is already up on the website for you to view. Now, if you want to go test, you want to go proxy, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to do unknown for this drop, and then I'm going to put in a couple of variants. This is the size, by the way, under here. So I'm going to put in the variant for a size 12. Once you start it, it's going to do the exact same thing as SHOPNICEKICKS, and it's going to do selecting shipping rate, waiting for restock, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if this is actually going to go through. Yeah, it is. So it's just going to go through and say waiting for restock. It's the exact same method as SHOPNICEKICKS. You could either run it when the monitor pings it. You want or you could run it through Shopify Q. Now the thing when you ping it, when Shopify pings it, the thing what it does is it runs checkpoint quicker and runs through checkpoint. It looks a little more legit than the other ones because checkpoint has been queued up and it's already through queue. For checkpoint, you also just want to solve it as quick as possible, solve your captchas and try and get it through. Same with delays, I would run them the same. I would run 3,000 and drop them for the drop. Drops usually at 7 for SHOEPALACE again, and it's going to try and get through the restock mode and try and submit payment. SHOEPALACE I have been seeing getting smoked the past couple weeks, so it is good to run SHOEPALACE, but I'm going to show you a couple other good websites that NSB works better on in this video. So for SHOEPALACE and SHOPNICEKICKS, I would say run them, just don't expect too much success. I've seen more success on different sites on NSB. Now let's get to the next section. So as you can see, I have concepts and undefeated up. This section is going to be about concepts and undefeated, as they do have something in common. For undefeated, you are going to be wanting to run keywords, same as concepts. You want to be running the keywords that NSB gives you, as they do not have early links. If the keywords do not pick up, you will want to utilize the monitor method I was showing you to change the links. So for billing profile, we're going to do test. For mode, I have only seen undefeated drop on snow bot protection for the Yeezy carbons. Now this was a very close release, as it was only 2 days ago, so I don't know if they're going to run safe mode that much, but I have been running Cyborg all the time and I cook on undefeated for slots and for myself. Now Cyborg I will just show from this example just because they use it most, but the last drop that undefeated did do safe mode, so please be advised to run at least 1 or 2 safe mode tasks with undefeated when running. Keywords, you'll just do the keywords that you want. I mean, I'm just gonna do a link, but remember there won't be a link, so just do the keywords that NSB tells you. Size, I'm gonna do random. Tasks, I'm gonna do 1. Now, for undefeated, when they do drop, they drop usually at 5 a.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Eastern. They drop with required login. Now, required login, you are going to want to put in your username and password. Remember, username is just email. So if I was going to put in my username and password, I won't right now because I already have tasks set up, but I'm just going to do a random one. And this would be the account that I had, so this would be the real account if it was, and I would just make this task. Now with it's the same with concepts, you need required login as well when checking out. It doesn't work if you are not logged in, and this is why NSB has the required login feature. Remember to utilize this and remember to put in required login. So we have a couple tasks up right now. For undefeated and concepts proxies, they do not filter as hard as other sites, meaning you can run your fast DC proxies, fast ISP proxies. You can run no proxy as well. No proxy, I would say you do 2 to 3 per site for no proxy. That would be the best bet. I'm going to run my fast DC cookies and then unknown VA stealth ISPs for this. Now for undefeated, I'm going to run it. It has my real login in. Before the drop, you are going to run it at a high delay before. I always do 10,000. You can do what you wish, just make sure it's higher than 5,000. Now we're going to run it. It's going to add to cart. It's going to select shipping rate. It's going to do all that stuff. It's going to wait for captcha though. Oh, I got a 1 click. For delays on undefeated, for initial drop, I usually do around 2,222 for undefeated. I know that's a little low. Sometimes I run 3,000. I run varied monitor delays. Now you always want to just vary it for Shopify because different ones can work at different times, and Shopify is very shaky on how they check out. So some can check out with a 10,000 monitor delay, some can check out with a 400 monitor delay, and some can't. So it's all personal preference, and just try around and mess with what works with you. Just don't use the regular 3500 NSB delay every time, because remember, everybody else is using that 3500 NSB delay, so everybody else is going to pick up the same time as you. Just remember that. So that's why I run 3333 sometimes. We are going to delete these undefeated tasks as I've just showed you, and concepts, I'm just going to show you these Doc Martens real quick. Concepts, it would do the same thing, same delays, it would log in, add to cart, waiting for session, submitting, it would do all the same stuff, it'll wait for CAPTCHA, one click again, I have good Gmails, so it's just going to do submitting payment, and it's going to do the same thing. Now I have seen that Concepts sometimes doesn't work on NSB. Concepts does some weird things sometimes they can proxy throttle too. I would make sure you are running a no proxy for Concepts. The other thing about Concepts, sometimes login doesn't work right. Sometimes they put questions, but NSB now has a question answer that will pop up as a browser that you answer the question below the add to cart. If you have any other questions, just let me know on Discord or Twitter or YouTube in the comments. I can always get to you there. But that's the end of Concepts and Undefeated. Let's go on to the next section. So for this section, I'm going to show you DSM and why, and any sites that have password pages up on release. Now, a password page you can find by going on their website, and if it won't let you into their menu or their product menu, it'll say shop.Dover Street. I know Dover Street Market doesn't have a password up for now, but it would say /password, and basically it wouldn't let you in until the password was dropped, which is on their command, so when they drop the products, which doesn't let you get through queue and pre-cart like Undefeated, Concepts, Kith, any of these sites that we talked about before. Now I'm just showing you DSM and why, but a lot of other sites do this with their password. I know all DSM sites do it. I know like Lyrical Lemonade, that was a low key drop, but they did it. I know FaZe Clan, you know, some types of drops they drop with password, so just know when they're dropping with password and it'll be easy. Same as Unions, they dropped with password as well. So for password, you are going to want to run with keywords. Now keywords are very shaky on DSM. I would just run the keywords that NSB advise you and make sure you are watching the monitor. They usually like to mess around with their keywords like Yeezy, like with periods in it and weird stuff like that. So I'm not going to do anything right now except just put Yeezy. Nothing's going to pop up, but I'm just going to show you for now. I'm going to do test, and they don't usually throttle proxies that hard, so use any proxy. For DSM and why, sometimes they drop on safe mode. Make sure for any DSM site you're running some safe mode, as they could not drop with bot protection. I've seen it before, and I've got a lot of pairs with running safe mode. If you want, you could fast mode too, and then you want Cyborg as well. You just want all variants. Then you're going to run a bunch of tasks. They don't throttle that hard, so if you have 25 ISP or DC proxies, you are fine. Run it up. You are going to want to run it just before the drop. As there is a password, you can't get through queue, so there's no point in running it 10, 5, 3 minutes before. You are going to want to run it at like a minute before, and then I would run your delays 10,000 and then drop them again just to make sure they don't get banned. What I would drop them to on DSM is up to you. What I do is 3,000, 333, 3,500, 4,000. Sometimes I go below 3,000 on my proxy, so on no proxy, but I don't do it with my proxies. So if you would like to run lower, you can on delays, but the thing is, everybody's going to get through that password the same time. It's just when your product's going to pick up and how quick you get through queue, which is basically luck based. Now that's it for any password release drop. I would just make sure you are watching your monitor on release. Make sure all your delays are at least at 3,500 to 4,000. Make sure you change them, so don't make sure they're still on 10,000 because they won't pick up right away. The other thing with DSM is they just love to mess with botters. So they mess up keywords, they mess up their sites sometimes. So always watch DSM when they are dropping. And that is the end for the password Shopify section. So for this section, I'm going to show you how to use safe mode and fast mode tasks. Now, right now, for an example, I'm just going to use Stussy as a site example. Now, Stussy has never dropped with safe or fast mode. It's just a pure example. I'm not using this for any spite or anything. Now, I do not know any sites that drop with safe or fast mode a ton, because most of them use cyborg mode because how much they get hit by bots. Now, some sites do it out of spite or maybe for a mistake or something like that, but they usually don't. We usually don't know it's going to actually do that. So I would run one safe mode and one fast mode task for a site that you don't really know if they're going to drop bot protection or not. So we're going to just run a bunch of tasks with just a Yeezy keyword, and it's not going to pick up. What it's going to do, if you have a link or a variant that's already loaded, it's going to go waiting for restock. And once the products drop, it is just going to go straight to submitting payment. Now, this is very good because it is going to check out a lot of products for you, and you could hit a big clip. This is usually where only botters hit a clip on Shopify, and it is very useful using variants for that sake. Now, that was with the Kobe Lakers jersey release. You could have got like 10 jerseys if you ran it right. So that's kind of just the basics to those. Links, the same thing. You would run a link. Once the link dropped, it would probably go straight to processing or submitting payment. Then for keywords, I don't think it would do the same thing. I think it would be through queue, but I think it would do a couple more things. You would probably need to do a CAPTCHA too. But when it runs, it's gonna monitor for it. Once it hits, it's going to pick up, and then it's going to take you straight to checkout, and it's going to be faster than cyborg and not pick up that many CAPTCHAs. So when you know safe mode and fast mode will work, run a buttload of tasks, because it will be very beneficial, because you won't have to do those checkpoint CAPTCHAs, which take a long time. Usually they don't have checkout CAPTCHA. Also, for safe mode and fast mode, they do have a forced CAPTCHA option. Now, you want to check with your cook group if you found out the release for them, or from NSB if you should run forced CAPTCHA. I know for sites like APB, sometimes they drop with safe mode and fast mode, but you want to have forced CAPTCHA on because they have CAPTCHA at checkout, and if you don't solve it, it won't let you submit. And now I'm going to show you the restocks for safe and fast mode. So I'm just going to show you Kith. Let's just put a random link. Now, for restocks, you are going to want to run safe and fast mode. You're going to want to run your best proxies, DC, no proxy. You can run a couple of them, but just make sure you don't get it banned. And you just want to run a buttload of tasks, because it's just going to say waiting for restock, and once stock keeps on dropping, so this is just right after release or when a lot of restocks are happening at once, it'll go to processing payment or submitting payment, and you could eventually get one, and I have eventually got one a lot of times. So we're gonna go cyborg, you can go random, we're gonna go run, we're gonna go unknown, and we're gonna go test, and we're gonna do a couple of these here. What I'm gonna show you is how much my delays I run. Now, for NSB, there is a public checkout Discord page, which you should use a lot. This helps you understand when other people are checking out on NSB with other products, and it helps you cook more. Once I started looking at this checkout NSB Discord page, it started helping me cook a bunch more. So once I started looking at that, I started looking for when checkouts were coming in for restocks, and then I would run my delays a little lower than I was, just to pick up the submitting payment, and then I would run it higher when there's nothing restocking, but there could be a chance that there could be a massive restock. I mean, restocks work very well on NSB, and you could check out very easily for Kith, Undefeated, and more. Make sure you are running restocks right after drop, and don't delete your task, because you could still eventually get one. And that's for restocks on safe and fast mode, and that's the end of this section. That is the last section of this kind of episode on NSB's Shopify setup. Let me know if you liked it in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It took me a lot of work to make this video and make it, edit it, all of that. It's my first video. I want to see what you guys would like below, so just comment down below what you would like to see next. I will have live cops up to see how I do on NSB, ECB, Splash4, Sol.io, and others. I hope you guys like my content, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys later.